Hi guys, welcome back to the Johnny Gets Cash YouTube channel. Today is an exciting day because I've got a new project and it's time to unveil it to you guys. So what I'm going to do is show you around what I've bought, and then I'll talk you through why I bought it and what my plans are for it. So without further ado, let's go and check it out. Right then, so here's what I've bought. It is a 1999 Daihatsu 4-track. This particular 4-track is a Riviera spec, so the top of the line in 1999. That's not to say it's luxurious or anything like that, it's just not as agricultural as some. Now the reason I've gone for this particular truck is I want to restore this to a better than new standard. I have bought and sold so many of these over the years, probably somewhere in the region of 20 to 30 in the last 2 or 3 years. And every time I've had a really, really nice one come and go, I've always told myself, one day I'll build the ultimate 4-track for my own use and I'll keep it. Now, every time I've had a really nice one come in, it's always proved to be worth selling it because there was enough profit in it to make it worthwhile. So I haven't actually managed to hold on to one. But just recently I was thinking about it, and these are getting harder and harder to find. So I thought, let's go all out, let's just buy one and make it into the 4-track that I want it to be. So to find this Riviera spec as a base was ideal. I didn't want to restore fully a basic spec one, so this is the best one I could have found. Now, I was very lucky. I found this one on Facebook Marketplace about 15 miles down the road from me. Now, as you know, I'm not a huge fan of Facebook Marketplace, but in this case, it seems to have worked in my favour, and I've ended up with quite a worthy base vehicle. I didn't give a lot of money for it. This is this is quite a low mileage car. I mean, it's a 99, so it's 22 years old, and it's done just over 112,000 miles. So really not horrendous. It's a 3-owner vehicle, and the chap I bought it off has had it for the last 15 years or so, I think he said. So it's a good one. It's a good base. Now, he looked after it as well as you could expect someone to look after an old 4x4. Obviously, this was a pseudo work vehicle for him. He used it for shooting, for off-road driving, things like that. So it has done its work, but it's not so far gone that I can't make it what I want it to be. Now, this vehicle actually came to me without an MOT, and in case you're not from the UK, an MOT is our yearly roadworthiness test. So this vehicle doesn't actually have a current MOT. Normally, that's a bit of a red flag. Generally, it means if someone doesn't bother to do it, there's lots of issues outstanding. Now, I know there's a few things on this truck that will need doing before it can pass that MOT test, but nothing too horrendous. And having had a look around it and a bit of a clean-up, I'm really not too upset. I'm not too shocked about anything I found, so that's all really positive. My plan for this one is to make it, hopefully, better than new. So it's going to be a body-off restoration. It warrants it. It sounds like a lot of work for an old vehicle, which is somewhat obscure, especially if you're not familiar with what a 4-track is. But it does warrant the extra work. The reason these are such great vehicles, and they are developing more and more of a following, is because they are probably one of the last truly rough, tough off-road vehicles with minimal electronics, so there's not a lot to go wrong. Very, very tough. The problem with them, as with so many other Japanese vehicles in the UK especially, they love to rust, and so many of these fantastic vehicles have been scratched because of the rust. The engine and drivetrain is fantastic. That will go on forever with servicing, but bodily and sometimes the chassis, yeah, they do rust quite a bit. This is no different. There is rust on it, and I'm sure as the process goes on, I'll find more and more. But I'm not that worried about it. I'm not stressed, and as I say, I feel strongly enough about having a decent example of one of these to weather any storm on that front. So whatever I find, we'll fix. Now, the plan for this one is to basically strip it back to its bare constituent parts and fix, clean and repair everything we need to, and put it back together, making the best example we can. You saw in those walk around shots, there's a few particularly ugly parts of this vehicle at the moment, not least of all that front bull bar, which is all bent and rusty and pretty ugly. So today my job is going to be to strip off all that stuff, make it a little less ugly, and then we can start to investigate things a little more. So the first job I want to tackle is the front brakes. When I bought this truck, within a few miles of the drive home, there was quite a strong smell and some smoke coming from the front end. Well, pretty soon it transpired that both front brakes were binding quite severely. Now, obviously with this restoration I will be changing the brakes, but for now I'm going to take them apart, clean them up, and see if I can free them off just enough to make moving it around a little bit easier. As I mentioned before, this truck is due to get new brakes, so it'll get new calipers, discs and pads all around, but for now I just want to make it easier to move the truck around, so taking apart these old units, giving them a clean up, making sure they're all freed off and working well enough to move around the yard, that's my priority. Now that the brakes have been done, it's time to deal with this damaged bull bar and rusty light guards, starting with the removal of these non-functional spotlights.
So then guys, that's going to do it for this episode. You've seen me take off some of the more ugly bits of the 4-track. Now, obviously there's still a lot to do, but it's a start, and you've seen what we're working with. Maybe you understand why I bought this truck, and hopefully you can see the vision as I do and what we're going to achieve with this thing. So if you've enjoyed the video, please drop a like. If you want to ask any questions, please do so in the comments. I always try to read them all and respond where I can. So yeah, let me know if there's anything you want to know about the truck, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.